there's a pretty decent buck rutting these does over here. So, looks like a nice buck. It's hard to tell from here. But there's some rut action. I don't know, you think he's a 4?
Kind of looks like he is.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
His ears are pretty boxy. Long ways off.
Yeah, I see him now. Check him out right now. He looks pretty boxy. He looks like a pretty decent buck.
So, it's really the first buck we've seen, but he looks pretty good. He's got a handful of does, and then there's 2 other little forkies. Looks like they're sparring around. But big-bodied, he's a long ways off. And there's does popping up all over the place between us and him. So, I don't think he's like giant, but it's hard to tell. He's at least a mature buck. It's a good sign. Yeah.
Let's feel that.
It's a little cold out here. I don't know what I wonder what degree it is out here right now. Yeah. Don't take your gloves off.
Oh. It's frostbite temps, that's what it is. Take your gloves off, you'll lose a finger. Got some good snow, got some weather. It's good. We're gonna see if we can find us peek over this ridge and see what we can find. Bunch of deer over there, big group of does. Pile of them. Wow, we're seeing a lot of tracks. A lot of tracks cut through here. Look like some good buck tracks, but man, we got the weather, we got the timing, we got the rut. This just looks like the recipe for some good mule deer hunting, man. So freaking stoked. Can't ask for better.
It's almost middle of November. We just had this big cold front come in and laid down a big pile of snow when it got really cold, down in the single digits. So just driving to our spot, we started seeing rutting bucks alongside the road. So they're rutting. It's gonna be a fun hunt. I think we're gonna see a lot tomorrow when we bomb and we start getting into some cut up country, a little bit off this top where it's so wide open. Get into that breaky, broken stuff, and we'll see some good stuff.
Yeah, if you really want to get a feel for how tall or how short you are, you can just try to follow Ryan's footsteps in the snow. I have to do like the splits, like some clownish. That's what I gotta do to follow in Ryan's footsteps. It's ridiculous. We've been walking for quite a while today. Sun's coming up. Beautiful day. We glassed a bit from this ridge top this morning. But right now we're just making our way back in here. Trying to get off the beaten path. Go where no one else will go. But we got through the snow drifts and had to break out the shovel a few times, throw on the chains on the truck, but here we are. We're hoping when we get up here to these ridges, we're going to get into big deer. And I think we will. Hopefully we can show y'all a lot of deer today. Just give you guys a glimpse of the wildlife back here in this winter range. Stoked.
All right. Well, it's first morning, really, and we got our packs loaded with several days of food. We're bombing in. We got to our first little spot here and picked up an old regressed buck. Kind of crabby, but real nice heavy, with the doe chasing her around, a few other does around, and then we're sitting there glassing that buck. and another buck came walking right close to us, probably 80, 100 yards, and he's a dandy. Pretty nice big four. So we watched him. He spooked. He came right on to us, and we watched where he went. So we're gonna try to get a perch up on this top here and see if we can't relocate him. He's a solid buck. Even for day one, he's a solid buck. So
did he see us and run, or did he just? That's close.
This buck.
Seems like he's looking at us. Yeah, it's wavy.
We've got two pretty nice bucks. First two bucks we've really seen. But everything's looking pretty good. It is cold. 5 degrees. 5 degrees so far. It's gonna warm up to maybe in the 20s today, but sun's out. Those deer are probably gonna be moving a lot today. It's just cold. So this is a mid-November, and nice and cold, so those bucks are just rutting this time of year. We happen to be in a spot where this isn't a migration hunt. They're just here. They're resident deer, and they're going to be rutting here for a few weeks for sure. We're going to see deer. We're going to see quite a few bucks. Trying to find pluck a couple of big old mature bucks out of this country. Definitely is doable. We just got to put in the time. So kind of the name of the game is get up on the tops where we can see big amounts of country and glass our eyeballs off. One thing about these bucks I've noticed when hunting this country is they just don't tend to move too far away. Even when you bump them, we've got the days to burn. So today we're just going to, at some point we do need to hop off our perch and find a spot for our teepee, preferably with some wood where we can get a fire going because it's going to be cold tonight. But yeah, name of the game, grab a perch and glass up a buck that Brian's happy with.
Yeah, I mean, one thing's for certain. Like, I've hunted with Ryan for a couple years now, a few years, and it's better if I can shoot something that I'm really happy with, and then we can focus on all the trophy hunting for the next week or two. Truth is, I'm actually quite happy with a nice, mature buck. Lampers, he's got a garage full of them, so he's got to spend a lot more time out here to get something different than what he's already got.
Yeah, it's true. I want something unique. Trying to find a big old heavy with a little bit of trash on him would be really cool. And they're out here, you just got to find them. But it's a rare find, so we may have to look at 100 or 200 bucks before we find one.
Well, we got a lot of looking to do, I guess. I'm excited. We're gonna get up here on this perch, see what we can see.
Yeah, it's pretty slippery climbing up this hill right here. I mean, it's frozen, and then mixed with that mud gumbo, it gets slick in certain spots. So, yeah, it's kind of a fun challenge to get up them. Gotta be careful, for sure. Don't want to slip and fall. Yeah, it's really cool country, though. We've seen some good bucks already.
We got up on this perch, and we can see a ton of country up here. Looks like the deer pretty much put themselves away. They're bedded up, so we gotta just pick them up through the glass. There's just cuts everywhere. They can just disappear in this country. But I see tracks pretty much everywhere that I glass, so there's a lot of deer out here. That big four that we watched this morning, I saw his tracks cut to the north of us, and we can see a lot of country up there, so hopefully we can pick him back up and Brian can go shoot him. That's the plan. Ninja. You gotta be out here. It's 5 degrees. At least we got these boulders up here to break the wind a little bit. So I boiled some water and I threw some Lono Life Thai curry bone broth in there. And I got some rice ramen, so it's like a rice noodle. And I throw a little sea salt in there. And it's the best meal of the day, especially on these cold days.
James, Ryan, this is one of the best combos on the planet. Chocolate, perfect bar, honey, cinnamon, peanut butter, 1 egg white, 27 peanuts, half a date, no BS. You had these? They're good. This is it right here. That's it. I had to put this in my pocket though for like 30 minutes unthawed because it's frozen peanut butter.
You'll notice, James, when I eat noodles, you can't really tell that I'm eating noodles when Brian eats noodles. Have you ever heard Brian eat noodles?
I'm guessing he inhales them though, with the slur.
Here, let me show you what it sounds like. It goes kind of like right.
Dude, that's how you're supposed to eat noodles. I've been to the noodle capital of the world. I lived in Japan for 2 years. Exactly. If you don't make noise when you eat ramen, I feel like you're doing it wrong.
It's not it. No, you can't eat something quiet and eat noodles at the same time if you practice.
See,
That wasn't too.
I feel like when you're quiet, when you eat noodles, you're missing out on the enjoyable aspect of the noodles. Part of what makes eating ramen so enjoyable is all the noise you make while eating them. Just like that. You know, when you hop on a train in Japan and everybody's got a cup of noodles and that sound fills the train car, it's like music to my ears. Look, Ryan is a quiet human. Everything he does is quiet. There's nothing Ryan does that's loud. Nothing. I don't think he farts loud. Like nothing loud. I wouldn't say I'm loud, but I wouldn't say I'm quiet. I'm more like Goldilocks. I'm just right.
Yeah, see, I think there's obnoxious and not obnoxious. I try to be not so obnoxious.
Man, this is amazing. We got basically deer 360 degrees, like in all directions. We put glass on a couple of bucks this afternoon, not stuff we'd go after, but there's got to be some big shooters somewhere near these does just bedded right now. There's some deer activity over here. I'm very suspicious that a big buck's over there, but we'll see. We have to wait a while. It's about 12 o'clock. Well, we actually put eyes on a pretty good buck. He's bedded. He's pretty far away though. Looks nice, but it's so hard to tell at this range. He's a couple thousand yards away. He was dogging a doe, chasing her, and then this other buck, small buck, was right up in there with him, and he kept chasing that little buck off, and then coming back to his doe, and chasing that little buck off, coming back to his doe. But he's one of the better bucks we've seen this afternoon. So, but it's about 2 or 3 o'clock. Right about the time they'll probably start standing up and feeding again. So we're just kind of hoping we see something here real soon. But that was a good looking buck. He's still there. He's just bedded with that doe. He doesn't want to leave that doe. But he's pretty far out there, and we saw another buck this morning that Ryan thinks is a better buck. So we're just we're gonna hang tight. We got the vantage point right here. So before we bomb off and chase that buck, we're gonna see if there's not something bigger right in here. And then if we have to, we'll make our way over to that buck over the next day or two, assuming he stays somewhere nearby. But this is amazing. Glassing into this wind is rough, but there's like 12 does right over here. Hoping there's a giant somewhere nearby. Well, we spotted two good bucks. One we just saw walking away from us. Just got a little film of him. He's a good looking buck. We don't have much time through our gear and our bags. Full packs, it kind of sucks, but we're making our way over there. See how much ground we can cover before we run out of daylight. Hopefully we get him. We're making decent timing. Covered more ground than I thought we would. All right. We're not making that good a time anymore. We got about an hour before dark. So maybe it's gonna happen. We'll see. Bunch of deer popping up on all the ridges. You know, they've been bedded all day. Now they're like coming up to the tops to feed. Yeah. Well, didn't happen. Got dark too fast. We're close to where we last saw him roll over this ridge. We're just gonna have to call it a day. Find a place to set up camp, see if we can drum up some wood in this place.
All right, so decided to camp down in this valley. Probably the flattest spot I've seen all day. Somehow we just walked onto it, which is great. It's actually grassy too. The hardest part where we're at is finding wood. Unfortunately, on our way here, we found like this nice little bone-dry, dead patch of timber that we could go back to. And so I raced over there, and I just buzzed up some wood.
This pile?
It's gonna be a long night, so might as well get twice what we need, probably. Pretty sure. That should give me 3 cups of coffee in the morning too. We got wood for tonight and tomorrow because it's getting pretty cold. But we brought the big SXL stove today, so just because it's getting so cold at night. Yeah, we brought the Red Cliff on this one, so we got a ton of space, even with 3 of us. And that plus this big stove, it's just hot in here. So it's way different when you have the big stove compared to the small one we've been bringing. Next level.
Dude, that thing is hot.
Yeah. It's
I think it's glowing red.
Man, we needed this last night. 5 degrees. I got the damper shut too. Yeah, another issue this time of year is like it's dark at 5 o'clock, so long nights, which is another reason to have the stove. So we're gonna probably get a lot of sleep tonight. This evening, when we saw that
Really good buck. We're thinking it might have been the one from this morning. Hard to tell, it was a long ways off. I figured he'd make a play and just run over here and see if we couldn't pick him up just before, we lost light. We got quite a ways over here, but we never did pick him up. Tomorrow we'll be up bright and early, and we got a nice kind of vantage point and big perch right, I don't know, a few hundred yards up, so we can just climb this hill and get a really good look at a huge area again. So hoping that we pick up that really good buck that we saw this evening. And if we do, then Brian's going to shoot it on day 2.
That's right.
Inevitably, we see these great bucks on the first few days. And, you hope to see one on the very end, but this is definitely a buck worth going for. So if we can get a play on him tomorrow, that'd be great. Get a nice big buck like that on day 2. Still have some days to try to find another one.
On top of the mountain.
Thanks for watching part 1 of this mule deer hunt series. We really appreciate the legit feedback and support we get from all of you. Tune in next Sunday to see Ryan hunt up a rare public land monster buck. If you'd like to be entered to win a brand new pair of Peaks Gators and a set of Sissy Sticks, all you got to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, and leave us a comment, and we're going to pick a winner next week. And if you'd like to get a little more behind-the-scenes information on these hunts, check out the Gritty Podcast on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever podcasts can be found. Thanks for watching, and stay gritty.